Ladies, gentlemen, and all the ones who've been ghosted after the good morning phase. This pause. Today we're talking about something that sounds like a twisted rom-com, but unfortunately it's very real life. The topic is, if he loves you, he will ignore you. Now I know, that sounds messed up, right? But let's be honest. Raise your hand if you've ever been stuck decoding mixed signals like it's some kind of emotionally unavailable Sudoku. Pause for reaction. Yeah, me too. Been there, done that, wrote the book, burned the book. Then made a Netflix deal out of it. But here's the thing. We're going to peel that idea apart because love isn't supposed to feel like confusion. It's supposed to feel like clarity. We live in a world where confusion is often mistaken for passion, where the more complicated the dynamic, the more we romanticize it. But let's get one thing clear. Mixed signals aren't love. They are emotional manipulation. There's nothing mysterious or intriguing about someone who doesn't know how to communicate. It's not charming when someone shows you affection one day and ignores you the next. That's not love keeping you on your toes. That's someone playing games with your emotions. When someone loves you, they don't make you guess. They don't leave you hanging for days wondering what you did wrong. They don't pull away just to reel you back in. That kind of push and pull is designed to keep you uncertain, and uncertainty is the playground of manipulation. It feeds off your hope, your overthinking, and your need to be enough. It keeps you invested while they stay detached, always with the upper hand, always in control. And the worst part? We're conditioned to believe that this is normal, that love has to hurt a little, that not knowing where you stand is just part of the journey. But that's not love, that's anxiety. That's inconsistency dressed up as intensity. Real love is consistent, it shows up, it speaks clearly, it makes you feel safe, not small. When someone is emotionally mature and genuinely cares for you, they don't leave room for confusion. They don't breadcrumb you with just enough attention to keep you hanging on, then disappear when it's convenient. Mixed signals serve one purpose, control. They keep you chasing. They make you work harder for something that should come naturally. And the more you chase, the more power the other person holds. Suddenly their approval becomes your reward. Their silence becomes punishment. You find yourself analyzing texts, rereading conversations, asking your friends, what do you think this means? And that's exactly what they want. For you to be so distracted by the maybes that you don't realize you're not getting what you actually deserve. It's a cycle, one that drains you, one that makes you question your worth. Because here's the sneaky thing about emotional manipulation. It's subtle. It's not always loud or dramatic. Sometimes it looks like charm, like sweet words followed by cold distance, like vulnerability used as bait, like attention used as a hook, but not enough to make you feel secure. And we call it love. We defend it. We say, maybe he's just bad at expressing himself. Maybe he's scared. Maybe he's busy. But deep down, you know, you feel it. That little voice inside you that says, this doesn't feel right. That voice is trying to protect you. But every time you excuse the behavior, every time you accept less than you deserve, you silence that voice a little more. Real love shows up, not disappears. It doesn't hide behind excuses or vanish the moment things get real. Love isn't about grand gestures followed by long silences. It's not about someone who's all in one day and emotionally unavailable the next. When someone truly loves you, their presence is consistent, not conditional. They don't clock out when things get uncomfortable or when they feel too vulnerable. They stay, they listen, they engage, and most importantly, they make you feel seen. We've been taught to accept crumbs and call it a feast, to settle for people who come in waves, who show up when it's convenient for them and disappear when it's not. But real love is not a part-time job. It doesn't require reminders, ultimatums, or constant emotional resuscitation. If someone needs to be convinced to be present in your life, they're not meant to be there in the first place. Love doesn't ask for auditions. It doesn't put you on hold. Presence is a choice. It's not about time, it's about effort. It's that good morning text, not because it's routine, but because they want to start the day with you. It's showing up on your hard days, not just the highlight reel. It's being there in silence when you don't have the words. And it's doing that over and over again, not just once, not just when they feel like it. Consistency is the language of love, not fireworks, not fancy dinners. Just showing up, even when it's messy, especially when it's messy. When someone loves you, they don't need to disappear to make you miss them. They don't play games to keep the spark alive. They know that the real spark is built through trust, through being present again and again. It's built in the little moments, the check-ins, the honest conversations, the willingness to understand. It's not built in absence. It's built in presence. And presence is powerful. It tells you, I see you, I value you, I choose you, not just today, but every day. Disappearing is easy. Anyone can go quiet. Anyone can ghost when they're unsure or scared or emotionally unavailable. But love requires showing up even when it's uncomfortable, even when it's inconvenient. Love requires emotional maturity, the kind that says, I'm here. I might not always have the right words, but I'm not walking away when it gets tough. Because real connection isn't built on perfection. It's built on presence. When someone disappears on you, it says more about their emotional bandwidth than it does about your worth. It reflects their readiness, not your lovability. But in love, readiness matters. You can't build something strong with someone who's not fully there. Half love will never feel whole. So if you're constantly waiting for someone to show up, to respond, to care, then you're not in love, you're in limbo. And no one deserves to live in limbo. Not when love, real love, is supposed to be a safe space, not a question mark. Silence is not a sign of depth, it's often a lack of intention. We tend to romanticize the quiet ones, the ones who pull away and make us wonder. We assign meaning to their silence, as if the absence of words somehow signals complexity, mystery, or even emotional depth. But the truth is, silence can just as easily be a sign of avoidance. It can be a way of not dealing, not showing up, not caring enough to communicate. Silence is not always poetic. Sometimes it's just empty. When someone cares, they make an effort to communicate. They don't leave you in the dark trying to interpret their every move. They don't rely on your imagination to fill in the blanks. Love is not meant to be a riddle, and the people who care about you will not make you feel like you need to be a mind reader. Silence, when used to manipulate or avoid, it becomes a weapon. It creates space for doubt, insecurity, and overthinking. And that's not emotional depth. That's emotional distance. Many people confuse silence with strength. They think holding back their feelings makes them more in control, more grounded. But withholding emotion is not strength, it's fear. It's fear of vulnerability, fear of commitment, fear of being truly seen. And love requires you to be seen. It asks for openness, not walls. Someone who truly loves you will try to bridge the gap with words, with action, with clarity. They won't use silence as a shield to protect their ego while leaving you confused and anxious. We've all been in situations where we try to explain someone else's silence. Maybe he's just not good at expressing himself. Maybe he's processing things. Maybe he needs space. And sure, everyone needs space sometimes. But there's a difference between needing time to reflect and consistently choosing silence over connection. If someone is always silent when you need reassurance, when you're asking for honesty, or when things get emotionally intense, that silence is not meaningful. It's dismissive. Lack of intention shows up in silence. If someone doesn't have the intention to build something real with you, to communicate honestly, to show you where they stand, then their silence is just that. Silence. No hidden message, no secret emotional layer, just someone who is not prioritizing you. And that's hard to accept because we want to believe there's more to it. We want to believe that silence means they're struggling with deep feelings. But if they're not showing those feelings, not sharing them, not inviting you into their emotional world, then those feelings are not part of the relationship. They are just noise in your own mind, not reality. People who love deeply speak. They may not always have the perfect words, but they try. They don't hide behind silence and expect you to wait, guess, or prove yourself worthy of their attention. Silence used as a pattern, not a pause, is a clear sign of someone who is not willing or able to invest in emotional connection. You deserve presence, not puzzles. Love is not meant to feel like a constant test or a never-ending game of trying to figure out where you stand. Yet so many of us get caught in the trap of romanticizing confusion. As if the more complicated the situation, the more passionate it must be. But that's not how healthy love works. Healthy love doesn't make you question your value. It doesn't ask you to decode mixed signals, analyze vague texts, or constantly wonder if you're being too much or not enough. When someone truly values you, they won't put you in a position where you're constantly second-guessing yourself. They won't turn communication into a mystery or affection into a reward system. You won't be walking on eggshells, afraid to say the wrong thing, afraid to ask for clarity, afraid to just be real. Love should be a place where you exhale, not hold your breath. It should feel like home, not a maze. You're constantly chasing signs instead of receiving real presence. You're not being loved, you're being played. Puzzles are for people who don't want to commit, for people who want the benefits of closeness without the responsibility of consistency. They keep you hooked by giving you just enough to keep hoping, but never enough to feel secure. It's strategic, it's manipulative, and it's often disguised as emotional depth, when really it's just a lack of willingness to be vulnerable and real. Presence means showing up fully, emotionally, mentally, consistently. It means being there when things are good and even more so when things are hard. It's not about perfection, it's about effort. You're not difficult for wanting presence. You're not needy for wanting clarity. You're not asking for too much when you want someone to be consistent in their affection, their attention, and their energy. In fact, wanting that is a reflection of emotional maturity. You know what you bring to the table, you know your worth, and you deserve someone who doesn't make you feel like you have to earn their time or affection by solving riddles they've created. Too often we start to believe that if we can just figure out the puzzle, say the right thing, act the right way, stay calm and cool enough, then maybe they'll finally choose us fully. But love is not a prize you win by being perfect. It's a connection you build through mutual presence, through shared effort, through truth. Someone who is emotionally ready won't make you work so hard just to feel seen. They'll make you feel chosen, not challenged. You don't need someone who makes you constantly prove yourself. You need someone who brings peace, not confusion. Someone who is emotionally available, not emotionally elusive. Someone who communicates, not someone who disappears and calls it space. Presence is not flashy, it's not always dramatic, but it is powerful. Because it says, I'm here, I care, I choose you. Without games, without tests, without hesitation. So here's the truth, raw and unfiltered. If he loves you, he won't confuse you, disappear on you, go silent on you, or make you decode his behavior like a cryptic crossword puzzle. Love isn't meant to be painful. It isn't meant to be a game you have to win. If someone truly loves you, they'll show up fully, loudly, consistently, without you having to shrink yourself, chase them, or guess where you stand. You are not here to audition for love.